Let's go. First one of the year. You're listening to Hawks Live, presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. The show is at 7 every Thursday right here on Seattle Sports 710, broadcasting live from Bellevue Square Center Court. I'm Michael Bumpus with my guy, Paul Moyer. We're about 7-8 years deep into this thing, but it ain't about us right now. You guys are in for a treat. This young man sitting next to me is from Pierre, South Dakota. He played football, basketball, and baseball. His team was 31-5 and won 3 straight state championships. Then he goes to North Dakota State, 2-time NCAA Division I FCS national champion, drafted by the Seahawks, number 18 overall in the first round, the highest drafted lineman in FCS history, highest drafted guard in the Seahawks franchise since 2001. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Seahawks offensive lineman Grey Zabel. Great, man. We're happy to have you. It was I've never been more excited for the Hawks to draft an offensive lineman in my life. I saw your name pop up on the screen, and I was extremely excited. You guys played, other than quarterback, the most important position on the football field. What was that day like for you? Did you feel like the Hawks were going to take a stab at you, or did you feel you go somewhere else?
Man, I really didn't know where I was going to go. I mean, I interviewed down at the Senior Bowl with John Schneider, and then Steve Hutchinson was there as well. So that's mainly the most that I talked to them, and then had an interview with them at the Combine. And then after that, it was kind of blank space out there for a while. And then here's a phone call from Renton, Washington that completely changed my life. So I'm so happy to be here and excited for the season.
Did you recognize the area code, or were you were guessing when you got the call?
No, it popped up and it said like Renton, Washington right underneath the phone number, and I was like, all right, this is sweet.
All right, there we go.
So you knew where Renton was.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Renton, no one knew where that was 20, 30 years ago. Now it's become quite the place. Steve Hutchinson, I remember 2001. I think that's when they drafted Steve.
Yep.
And I remember watching him on film, and I go, oh my God, this is the steal of the draft. A lot of people saying the same thing about you, but something in common there. You're wearing Steve's number. He's, Hall of Famer. Rumor is you had to give him a call and maybe ask for permission to use his number. Is that true?
Yeah, when I showed up on that draft weekend, they brought me in after they drafted me. I was like thinking about, they asked what number I wanted to be and stuff, and I was sitting there thinking, and EK, one of Hutch's best friends, was like, I think you should wear number 76. Like, that'd be sweet. And I sat there and thought for about a minute or two, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to ask if that's all right. And Hutch gave me his blessing, so now I got some big shoes to fill playing in that number.
You do. He's one of the best guards I've ever seen. Athletic. We're trying to talk too much about our past, but when I played, offensive linemen were not athletes. I mean, they were chunky, right? I mean, they were heavy. They covered space. You, 36.5-inch vertical leap, the third highest vertical leap in combine history for offensive linemen. First of all, is that true, 36.5?
Yep, but don't watch the video. I biffed it pretty bad after when I was coming down after the jump. So 36.5, yeah.
Well, that's still pretty impressive, which means you were an athlete. And as he mentioned, you were a 3-sport athlete. Rumor has it, again, you were quite the baseball player, throwing 90-plus miles an hour. What sport, before this all transpired to become a Seahawk, coming out of high school, where did you really think you were going to be?
Man, I truly thought I was going to go play in the MLB. I thought I was going to take the baseball route, and then COVID happened, and the draft shrunk down to 5 rounds, and decided, all right, let's go play football at North Dakota State and have some fun and enjoy that.
So watching you, the thing that stood out to me the most when I was watching you at the Senior Bowl was, a lot of things, but I'm looking at the way you moved in space on the screens. And the screen has been just horrendous for us here in Seattle. So I got excited. But it also had me thinking, you might have been a little guy at some point in your life. Have you always just been the bigger dude? Because the way that you move makes me believe that maybe you weren't always the biggest guy on the field or the court.
Yeah, I was I wouldn't say little, but like I was skinnier at some point in my life, and man, those were the days. But I would say I went to college and I was like 6'4", 235 pounds. So I was kind of a little bit slender, and I mean, I'm going to hold on to the glory days. I played quarterback till I was an 8th grader.
There you go.
And then they're like, yeah, you're putting your hand in the dirt. That was a tough pill to swallow, but and then I kind of grew up a little bit in college.
And this isn't on accident. You come from a family full of athletes. Tell me about that and what that competition was like in your household.
Yeah, I would say the most athletic Zabel has to be my mom. She played basketball and ran track in college, and then my dad played football in college as well. And then my older brother is probably one of the most athletic guys I've ever met in my entire life. He probably doesn't look like it now, but he was tremendous. So always kind of living in his shadow just a little bit, kind of drove the competitive spirit of being the best player I could be. And then my younger brother kind of got beat up on, so he's still extremely competitive as well, and he's super athletic too.
Yeah.
Well, you grew up in South Dakota. You're a great athlete in high school. You win state championship. You got baseball, basketball, and for those who don't know, North Dakota State they're a powerhouse, a dynasty in FCS. Lots of national championships. But how do you end up there?
Yeah, I would say the staff up there is one. Two was the guy that toured me when I went up there for my visit was Cordell Volson, who now plays for the Bengals for the past 3 years. And then at the end of the visit, they take you into their trophy room, and their trophy room is stacked with national championships. At the time, they had 7 or 8. They ended up winning their 9th that year, or maybe their 8th. I don't know. That's a lot of championships. But you see that, and you want to be a part of that winning culture. And I think that's what kind of gravitated me towards there was like, I want to go win, and I want to compete, and I want to be kind of the best player I could possibly be.
Well, you had opportunities. Now you become a very good player at North Dakota State. You got the whole transfer portal thing, and there's money to be had out there. You decide not to go. So I'm going to ask 2 questions on that. One, tell us why, and 2, they got to have some money there. I mean, there's some money in North Dakota, particularly oil money. So just maybe that whole experience, why you stayed, and did you get paid a little?
Yeah. So I'll start with question 1. Big thing that kind of I thought of in the process of kind of do I stay, do I transfer was 1, North Dakota State's going to take you wherever you want to go. And I truly believe that if that's a job, if that's anywhere in life, if that's at the next level at the NFL, North Dakota State can do it. And then I think back to who kind of believed in me from the start. I mean, North Dakota State was my first offer. I was 6'4", 220 pounds, and they believed in me. They thought I could develop into an offensive lineman that was big and athletic. And I won't name the schools, but out of high school, there was 3 FBS schools that said no way, and they don't think I was going to get big enough, and so they kind of turned me down. And then come full circle, 4 years later, 2 of those schools are calling me, trying to get me to transfer. And so I just thought, man, for somebody to take a chance on me, why not stay and finish it out with the guys that I've been around the past 4 years and finish it out on top and go out the right way, which we did. And then 2, I want to say they gave me like $8,000 in NIL money to stay. But as a college kid, $8,000.
I know.
A lot of money.
Long way.
A lot of money. But I didn't even get to see it because it all just went straight towards my farming operation. So it was like I didn't see any of the money. So I stayed poor in college.
$8,000. I went to Washington State. $8,000 in Pullman. I would have been rich. You couldn't tell me nothing. But you said it went to your farming situation. We were trying to figure out, all right, you leased, over 200 acres worth of land. Tell me about that. And is that part of your family? Like, how did you get into something like that?
Yep. 243 acres this year, all soybeans. So it's kind of been my first passion, truly, growing up, always going up to the farm, working on it with my grandpa. And then my dad kind of got into farming in 2011, I believe. And so just kind of developing that passion of maybe this is something I want to do when I grow up and something I want to do for the rest of my life. And then having the opportunity 2 years ago now to take a chance and go farm. And thankfully I have an unbelievable support staff with my mom and dad that kind of encouraged me to do something and take a risk. And so I started farming on my own. How'd
you learn about it? Did you educate yourself? Is it something that you just picked it from grandpa? Are you studying books, YouTube? Like, how do you perfect your soybean farm? Yeah,
I would say all the above. I went to college. I was an ag business major. And then just learning from my grandpa, from my dad, still learning every single day. And kind of our farm, Northland Farms, I always say, like, anybody that steps on my farm has to be smarter than I am because I want to learn something from them and learn as much as I can. I think that's half the battle in both farming and football.
This is more of maybe a statement, but it's a question. You can buy 243 acres with $8,000?
No.
Jeez.
That gets you acre and a half, maybe.
No, geez. Talk a little football. I was talking with you before you came on, and look, you and Jalen Sundell, and we're about to get Charles Cross. We didn't really get to see in preseason, but it looked like you two have been playing together for a long time. Just talk about that because that's what you're going to be. That left side, you got your center, you got your tackle that they picked up his option. You're going to be around for a while. You three, it looks like. Just talk about that chemistry and how it came together so quickly.
Yeah. First shout out, Abe Lucas. Huge contract today. Let's go.
That's huge.
Great players getting paid. Love to see that.
Yes,
Let's go.
Amen.
So 3 more years here. That's exciting. And then back to your point, Jalen and I have grown a connection to where I think he corrects me, I correct him. It's one of those deals where, and then you play football, you play a game of football, and it's like you don't even have to talk because you know what he's going to do. You know how he's going to set up this block or how much he's going to give you on a block or how much help he's going to be there for. So I think just playing with a guy like that in my first year is super important. And then obviously Charles, didn't get to see him much preseason, but just the bond that we've created in OTAs, training camp, and then moving forward into the season is one of those, it's the same exact way. I mean, I know what he's going to do. He knows what I'm going to do, and we have a lot of fun playing out there together.
You don't get drafted top 20 on accident. Clearly you can play some ball, but one of the questions coming in were people saying, well, how is he going to acclimate to just tougher competition? You go to the Senior Bowl, you do your thing. I know you haven't played in a official NFL game yet, but you got some preseason work in. What did that competition feel like to you?
Yeah, there was a lot of ups and downs. I mean, if you see the first play of my NFL career, got blown up.
It's more of a bull rush, caught you off guard.
Yeah, it was, it caught me. Yeah, it caught me off guard. But there's going to be so many learning experiences, and I know it might be a rocky road here and there, and it might be tough, but you obviously want your growth being in kind of an upward trajectory and getting better every single day. And we were talking on the way here. I mean, it's got to be wins or learning experiences. There's no such thing as losses in this first year because you're going to learn from every single time you lose or you might not do your best. So I think taking that mindset and being able to adapt on the fly and understand that this game is pretty crucial, that you can able to learn from every single play is going to be super important.
Just to let you guys know, he adjusted on that first play and he righted it. But it was funny because I go, okay, that's the speed of that game and strength. We got to bow up now. And you had a great preseason. Man, we can't wait to see what happens on Sunday because I don't know if we've been this excited about an offensive line since about 2013. And we won the Super Bowl that year, so that would be good.
All right, guys, give it one more time for Greg. Greg, we appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
He's got lineman dinner to get to, all right?
Thanks
we got to make sure he gets